from Shivaji Group of Institution. In the previous lecture, I told about the human health and diseases. What is the definition of health and what is the definition of disease? Today, I am going to explain the types of diseases that was caused by bacteria. The diseases caused by bacteria. As you know that bacteria are parasite, and parasites are what? Parasites are those type of organisms that have to obtain foods and shelter to the another organisms. It means that and they causes disease in that organisms in which they reside. Okay. So what is host? And host is one in which disease actually created by the infection of different types of pathogens. So today now we are going to describe some diseases that will caused by bacteria. The first one is pneumonia. Here positive agents are very important, and this can be remembered by you. What are the positive agents of different types of diseases? So first, the disease is pneumonia, and the positive agent is Diplococcus pneumoniae. Positive agent is Diplococcus pneumoniae. Diplococcus pneumoniae is the positive agent of pneumonia. Is the positive agent of pneumonia. So this is actually a broad cell bacteria which causes the disease pneumonia. And what happened in this disease? What are the symptoms? The symptoms are lymph and mucus are collected in the alveoli and bronchi. As you know that alveoli and bronchi are a part of lungs, because trachea, after trachea what will happen? Bronchi is obtained, and after bronchi what is present? Bronchioles is present, and these bronchioles is divided into small balloon like pouches, and these pouches is known as alveoli. And you know that what happened, and these alveoli actually are bounded by different types of blood vessels. Because why they are bonded to alveoli? Blood vessels are why bonded to the alveoli? Because gaseous transportation will take place from the alveoli to the blood vessels. So here in pneumonia, what will happen? The lymph and mucus is collected in the alveoli. Lymph and mucus is a watery liquid. Lymph is a watery liquid, and mucus is also a watery thin liquid that is collected into the alveoli. And that's why what happened? There is this mucus and this lymph actually produces hindrance to the transfers of different types of gases. For example, oxygen and CO2. So there is problem created in the respiratory system by the disease. The result is that the lungs do not get sufficient air. It means that there is deficiency of oxygen take place. Why this deficiency of oxygen take place? Because in alveoli what will happen? A liquid is collected, and this produces a hindrance for the transportations of gases like oxygen and CO2. Now, the infection is actually spread by sputum. This infection actually, this type of a disease is actually spread by sputum of the patient. Okay. Now, the second one, the point is incubation period is just 1 to 3 days. Incubation period is 1 to 3 days. Now here, what is incubation period? Actually, incubation period is a time in which the infection take place and first appearance of the disease's symptoms. So the duration between the infection and first symptoms of disease will appear. This duration is known as incubation period. Okay. मतलब क्या हुआ? इन्फेक्शन होने से लेकर के रोग का प्रथम लक्षण उत्पन्न होना क्या कहलाता है? इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड कहलाता है. तो व्हाट इज इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड? इट इज अ ड्यूरेशन बिटवीन द इन्फेक्शन एंड फर्स्ट अपीयरेंस ऑफ द डिजीज सिम्पटम्स इज नोन एज इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड. एंड दिस पीरियड in the case of pneumonia is 1 to 3 days. So this is a type of disease which actually incubation period 1 to 3 days. And what types of antibiotics are given to disease? These are also very important. The antibiotics, as you know what is antibiotics, these are a type of medicines that can be obtained from different types of bacteria, or we can say lichens or any others. So these antibiotics are actually given to cure the patient, and these antibiotics is for the pneumonia disease penicillin, tetracycline, chloramphenicol. These salts are given in the case of disease pneumonia. What types of antibiotics? Penicillin, as you know that penicillin is a first antibiotic obtained from the Penicillium notatum. It is a type of a fungus. Okay, I think that you have remembered because I teach in class 11. The first antibiotic that was discovered by Alexander Fleming is penicillin. And what this penicillin actually do, what this antibiotic actually do to kill the bacteria, it hydrolyze the cell wall of bacteria. That's why with the help of this penicillin, what will happen? The cell wall of bacteria, you know that the bacteria having a cell wall. It is a cell wall is a characteristic of plant. Okay, so the bacteria, the penicillin is actually destroy the cell wall of the bacteria and help to cure the disease. Tetracycline is also antibiotic that is obtained from Rimosus, and Rimosus that is obtained from Streptomyces rimosus, a type of bacteria, and chloramphenicol. This antibiotic is also given in the case of pneumonia. Okay, now comes to the next disease. This is typhoid. The causative agent is Salmonella typhi or Haemophilus typhosa. The causative agents are very important because they are asked in the examinations. The second one disease is typhoid, and this is disease caused by Salmonella typhi or Haemophilus typhosa. Both are the causative agents of typhoid, and this typhoid is actually spread through contaminated food, and water infections will take place with the help of contamination food and water. Okay, infection take place in the intestine. It means that when the contaminated food and water reaches to the stomach, after that when it reaches to the intestine, here what will happen? The intestine is actually infected and ulcers are created. Ulcers are created in the intestine, and ulcers are created. Now what are the major symptoms of the disease typhoid? Here the symptoms is fever, weakness is the symptoms of typhoid, and the incubation period is 21 days. Incubation period of typhoid is 21 days. And here one name is also included in this disease. The name is Marymilon. Marymilon is actually what? Marymilon is a ship. Marymilon is a ship in America, in a hotel. She is actually one of the first disease containing the typhoid, and from this Marymilon, this disease is spread all over the world. So the Marymilon is actually a woman that is ship in a particular type of a hotel in America, and she is also known as typhoid Mary. She is also known as typhoid Mary. So this disease is Marymilon is actually concerned with the disease typhoid. She is a ship in a hotel of America. Now, what types of tests are used to diagnose the typhoid? This is important point. The test is Vidal test is used for diagnosis the typhoid. The tests are also very important asked in the examinations. So this type of a test will take place for typhoid in that if any humans can be infected by a Salmonella typhi and he is typhoid person, this test will take place with the help of Vidal. Okay? Okay. Now comes to the next point. Next disease, the tetanus. It is also known as jaw lock disease. This is one of the major and very complex type of a disease. Very dangerous disease known as tetanus. It is also known as lock jaw. It is also known as lock jaw or jaw lock is also called here. Tetanus is known as lock jaw, and this tetanus is actually will take place with the help of a bacteria Clostridium tetani. So positive agent of tetanus is Clostridium tetani. Clostridium tetani is an anaerobic bacillus form bacteria. It is an anaerobic bacteria which does not take oxygen. It means that respiration will take place in the absence of oxygen. And its bacillus is what? Bacillus is the shape of bacteria. Okay, bacillus is the shape of bacteria. So this tetanus disease is actually caused by Clostridium tetani bacteria. The Clostridium tetani bacteria is found all over all these types of a surface, and also it is found in the soil, and with the help of this infections take place. It actually enter through the bones and burn. Okay, this bacteria is actually enter through the bones and burn. This bacteria is also present on the surface of glass and the surface of metals. Okay, surface of metals. Incubation period is varies. It means that incubation period is not stable, it is varies. It is about 4 to 3 weeks. And what will happen here? What is given to the treatment of tetanus? First of all, if the disease is in a dangerous form, if the disease is in critical form, then we will give ATS, anti-serum, anti-tetanus serum. Okay, ATS is what? It is actually urgent giving injections of ATS. ATS is what? Anti-tetanus serum. Anti-tetanus serum. This can be obtained from the passive immunity of the different type of organisms. Okay, so actually this Clostridium tetani, when spread all over the body, it produces a special type of a toxic substance, and this toxic substance actually directly stimulate the nervous system. Then what will happen? The nervous system, our muscles are always in the state of contraction. They cannot be in the state of relaxation. They cannot never goes to the state of relaxation, and they are always in the state of contractions. That is why this disease is known as lockjaw disease, because the contractions of the muscles of the jaw is mostly affected by the disease. So this is known as lockjaw disease. And ATS is actually given to those type of patients which are in critical stage. This is known as anti-tetanus serum, and it's also vaccination about DPT. It means that DPT is a vaccine that is gives against the tetanus. Now, what is the full form of DPT? This is very important. DPT is actually a triple vaccine. DPT is actually a triple vaccine, and this is called D for diphtheria, P for pertussis, T for tetanus. Okay, so this is actually what happened here. The triple vaccines are made into the one and given to the patient. So for the vaccination. So this is very important point. Diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus. It means that this vaccine is given all the three diseases: diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus. Now comes to the another disease that is known as diphtheria. It is actually occur 2 to 5-year-old children. This disease is actually happens in children, and the positive agent is Corynebacterium diphtheria. Corynebacterium diphtheria is the positive agent of diphtheria, and it is a rod-shaped bacteria. As you know that rod-shaped bacteria is actually very much dangerous for humankind, because mostly diseases, not all diseases, mostly diseases will be taken place by rod-shaped bacteria. And you know that in the previous classes you have to read that rod-shaped bacteria are dangerous for human beings, and they causes critical diseases. Because you know that bacteria are mostly beneficial for humankind, but some bacteria actually causes disease to human beings, serious diseases. For example, diphtheria, Corynebacterium. Diphtheria is a rod-shaped bacteria. Okay, this is a rod-shaped bacteria. So actually this Corynebacterium diphtheria bacteria infect the mucous cell of the nose, throats, and tonsils. Actually infect the mucous cells of nose, throats, and tonsils. Mucous membrane को इन्फेक्ट करता है, जिसकी वजह से क्या होता है, म्यूकस प्रोड्यूस नहीं हो पाता. म्यूकस इज अ वाटरी लिक्विड सब्सटेंस. So these parts are become very dryness. These parts feel very dryness, and there is coughing also take place. Dry coughing also take place by this disease. Okay. Now this disease is actually spread by droplet infection. Diphtheria disease is spread by droplet infection. As you know that when person is infected by diphtheria disease, droplets come to the other person, goes to the other person infected. Okay. Incubation vaccine work for 3 types of diseases: diphtheria, Coxsackie and tetanus. So student, these are the diseases actually caused by the bacteria. Okay, this is all over today. Thank you.